Okay, you're back with us in Republica. We're still talking to, of course, Omobono Adaza. So, Manong, no? We were talking about the illusion of knowledge. You have millennials. They're very focused with their Google. Everything is in Google, whether it's fake news, whether it's actual news. And let's face it, this competes with actual academic schooling, education, because this has formed the alternative form of knowledge. No? And would it be fair to say that we're really, this new generation is amputated from history? That's why we are continuously unlearning.
That's right, Eric. That's why I continue writing about the history of this country. I write about my own experience, which has something to do with very important historical developments. And I think the youth of this country, as you use the term, should not amputate history from their knowledge. It's important to know the history of the country, not so much that we should imitate them, the past, but we should learn from them. We should learn from our past experience. In the words of George Antariano, those who do not learn lessons of history are doomed to repeat it. So the movement is not horizontal, it's cyclical, which is bad.
This is now my worry, Manong, because you know this new generation seems to be far removed from their founding history. And because of the explosion of knowledge from the Western world, liberal ideas, etc., etc., we seem to prefer to copy things from foreign countries. Foreign experience, we try to copy.
That's the problem with foreign experience. You know, let me just cite an example in current developments. When there is discussion about federalism, for instance, so many people have ideas which come from other countries. You know, their problem is why don't they ask people who have already configured the federalism for the Philippines, who are here, instead of going to Canada, going to Scandinavia, going to England,
copying Malaysia, or
copying Malaysia. We can have, I have a configuration, I'm doing a book now, a configuration of a federal system, from my point of view, independent from all these people, because Filipinos are brilliant. They are brilliant.
We have a richer history, actually, than all the other countries around us.
I agree with you. That's why I keep on saying, you know, the first fundamental law of the United States of America, the American Declaration of Independence, was written by one single person. That's Thomas Jefferson. And later became President of the United States of America. And acknowledged by later presidents. That's why when President John F. Kennedy invited all the Nobel laureate in the United States of America in the White House, they were there for dinner. And you know, this was the piece that Kennedy said. This is the greatest grouping of geniuses in this room, in the history of the United States of America, except when Thomas Jefferson dined alone. He was given an applause by the collection of Nobel laureates. All the geniuses, all the geniuses combined could not compete
with
Thomas Jefferson.
You talked about, we have a lot of brilliant minds, local brilliant minds here in the Philippines, which we should bounce back all these ideas as a reference point. PDP Laban has come up with its own point of view. The so-called father, grandfather, grandson of federalism, which is former Senate President Nene Pimentel.
He's not the father.
I know, that's why I said grandfather or son.
Neither is he grandfather.
He's neither grandfather, not even the father.
No, he is Johnny come lately.
Oh, okay, because there were others before.
There were others before.
He's pushing for the PDP form of federalism. They're talking about 78 senators. They're talking about subnational federal agencies.
You know, I have been reading all these exchanges among the members of the Constitutional Committee, creatively president. I think they're a million light years away from divining the federal system that is designed for the Philippines. We don't have to go far. You know, I've done battle with Marcos
Okay.
in various levels.
Yes.
We have been talking with each other,
Uh-huh.
he persuading me
Yeah.
and me refusing him.
Yes.
And the best example
Is
of the nature of how many states would you have?
yes.
All right, that's the first thing. The example is the Marcos regions.
Yes.
That's the most well-studied partitioning of the country into regions. Why don't you just look at that? The Marcos regions will be the 13 states.
Just follow that.
Just follow that. And then Marcos believed, and I also believe, that federalism by itself
Yes.
cannot work in this
Okay.
country. It will lead to more dynasties,
More
more
dynasties.
lords,
Okay.
all over the place. You have to put it side by side with the
Yes.
parliamentary system.
Okay.
The controlling mechanism of the federal system will be the parliamentary system. It
Okay.
should be there side by side.
Okay.
We should have a unicameral parliament.
Assembly, yes, okay.
Yeah. And I call that kind of government as the clean and lean government.
Okay.
Why?
Why?
How many senators and congressmen do we have now? 320.
Okay.
If you find 20 of these people knowing well their duties,
Yes.
you have stumbled into a miracle. You have to go to Baclaran and pray that we have 20 people who know their job as legislators.
Under the PDP, they're talking about 78 senators
And
already.
that's senators.
How much would that increase the cost of?
Of course, increase. That's why lean and clean. 13 states, three members of parliament for each state, because we should have the best and the brightest
Okay.
coming from this area, not just anybody who has money, who has popularity, who is from the movies or from business. No, we need people who should be able to legislate.
This is the federalism of Bono Adaza. This
Yes,
is what you're saying.
federalism and parliamentary system of my
Of
concept.
Bono
yeah,
Adaza,
I'm
yes.
writing about it now.
Yes,
no?
yes.
I'm right.
So in your briefly, how does this go? Based on regions, three
Yeah.
per region.
Regions, 13 regions.
Okay.
3 members of parliament for each in a unicameral system.
Okay.
That's clean and lean.
Okay. There's a prime minister.
Prime Minister,
Head of government?
who will be elected
Okay.
by the members of parliament.
Okay. He'll be head of government or head of state both.
Head of government.
Okay.
The head of state should be a president, which will be rotated among the 13 states,
Okay.
so that everybody will have a chance. Every state will have a chance to have a president.
Okay.
How should it?
Similar to Malaysia.
Yeah, well, something similar to that.
Yeah.
But the election should be on this basis.
Okay.
On the first day that we convene the parliamentary system and we chose a president,
Okay.
we'll have a draw by lot
Uh-huh.
of the 13 states who will be the first president, second, down to the
okay,
13.
okay.
So there's no problem.
Okay.
The Muslims in Mindanao will have no problem.
yes.
They'll have a president.
Yes, also who will eventually sit. Yes.
Yes, who will eventually sit there.
Yes. Yes.
The Ilocanos will have a president. The Cebuanos will have a president.
And then if you bring that, cascade it down in terms of the bureaucracy, how will that go?
Also, no, in the case of down to the bureaucracy, I'm not in favor of dividing state
Okay.
justice system.
Okay.
The justice system
Will remain as is right now.
will remain as it, except that the number of members of the Supreme Court
Will be increased.
Will be limited.
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 To how many? To 8, to 9?
No,
9?
to 5.
To 5 only?
Yeah, 5 only. Why? Because the Supreme Court is the highest governing body.
In the US,
in
they have
the
9. I
judiciary.
think they have 9.
They have 9. They're a rich country.
Uh-huh.
They're a rich country. They can afford to have 9.
Ours is 5.
We have 15. Why don't we go down to 5? But
Okay.
the jurisdiction will be limited. Constitutionality,
Issues, yes.
validity of treaties,
Treaties.
and death penalty.
Okay. Those are the only 3.
There are only 3 issues.
And then if you go down to the Court of Appeals,
Maybe
the present structure will stay. You have
no, so many.
you'll have CA also in I think in the Visayas you have CA also.
Yeah, say in the 13 states.
So you'll have CA in every 13 states, no?
Yes, you have
So
say
there will be now a Court of Appeals per 13
13 states. Yeah.
per region actually.
per region.
Okay.
So 13 states with Court of Appeals.
Okay.
And maybe we should restructure the regional courts and jurisdictions.
Okay.
There are so many cases that go to adversarial courts. That's useless. We should have administrative courts, like, for instance, annulment. Why should there will be debate on annulment? There should be administrative courts to make a decision on that. And citing parameters.
Yeah, in the local level, you'll have a governor. You still have a governor.
Governor. No, the provinces will all be abolished.
So it will just be governor for the entire region?
Each state or each region.
So there will now be 13 governors?
Yes, and the configuration on the local level is 6 or 5 municipalities into a city. So there will be cities instead of municipalities. There will be no more provinces.
Okay.
Maybe that will wreak havoc on the minds of the dynasties and the politicians.
Okay.
But we are building a country here, Eric.
Okay. What will happen to? Of course, you have governors. Then you'll still have vice governors.
Yeah, probably vice governor.
You won't have state legislature anymore.
No, the state legislature will be like this.
Okay.
For instance, there are mayors of cities.
Yes.
For instance, if the state has
25 towns.
Now, you have a state legislature of 20, composed of 20.
20 mayors who can sit in the state legislature?
But limited jurisdictions.
Okay.
They cannot legislate on matters like income tax.
Okay.
The legislation will be like build a bridge.
Okay.
Configuration of streets.
Okay.
Development like school buildings.
Okay.
Well, limit it to that because they are familiar with that kind of problem.
What you're saying now is the mayors will become the state
they will become
the legislators.
Yeah,
state
they'll become legislators.
Automatic.
Automatic.
So everyone now will become part of the assembly.
Yes, because in a parliamentary system.
But unicameral, No more.
No.
Unicameral below also.
Unicameral below. Because the institutional changes, I consider the systemic changes.
Okay.
In the case of a presidential system, any fool can be president.
Okay.
And in this country, we have had a number of fools
Yes.
as president. But in a parliamentary system, no fool can be prime minister. Because why? The prime minister is the best among equals.
Okay.
The first among equals. Primus inter pares.
Yes.
And the institution itself is vision-oriented. The parties are vision-oriented. You get elected as president of your party because of your vision of the country.
Okay.
You stick to principles,
Okay.
ideas. Ngayon, maski wala pang ideas, ma-presidente ka. Wala kang vision. Television, yes.
In the federal parliament, there will only be what?
39.
39.
Yes.
Okay, do you call them assemblyman?
Members of parliament, MP. Because, Eric, let me cite to you a very funny development when we were in parliament. When I was there, I committed meeting. I said we should abolish the term assemblyman because the contraction of assemblyman is us.
Okay.
ASS.
Okay.
We are not the asses of anybody.
Okay.
We will retain members of parliament. So my idea was adopted.
In your proposal, therefore, is BBL still relevant or it becomes irrelevant?
It's moot and academic. I've been saying over and over again that BBL violates the fundamental provisions of the Constitution, and the best way to unify the country is through a federal system, side by side with the parliamentary system. It becomes moot and academic.
Okay.
BBL.
There are some individuals' voices, which I will not identify, who say that federalism should be created, or every state should be created based on the increase of population. There's a cabinet secretary who said that from the south. There are some who said that we don't need to be part of the Central Visayas region because, for example, there are voices in Cebu who say we can stand alone without being members of Central Visayas or one Negros Island when we return.
Yan, ang system.